pay a visit. Let's see if we get some visitors today. Coming on to you live. Let's see what we got. Put this thing on. Hit on like a crayon. Give me a minute while I go ahead and circulate. Okay. Take that thing off. See what we got. And once I get everything going, we're going to talk about some stuff. How y'all doing out there? What's up? How y'all doing out there? What's up? Just coming to you live. How y'all doing out there? What's up? Just coming to you live. Oh, I just been busy, that's all. Just coming to you live. Oh, I just been busy, that's all. Got some stuff to do. Oh, I just been busy, that's all. And plus nobody was coming on. Oh, I just been busy, and plus nobody was coming on. Oh, I just been busy, and plus nobody was coming on. Oh, I just been busy, and plus nobody was coming on. It's like the crickets. It's like the crickets. So let me see. I just see that you just came on. So let me go ahead and put this thing on. Now, I'm right here today. And you know I'm live, so come on through. You know, I've been here. I came here last Saturday. I came here a couple times, and so it was kind of slow, so it was no love. I'll probably try to come on tomorrow. Not gonna be here on Friday. But I've been just doing stuff, and so business stuff been kicking in, so you know, that's why. But if people give me a response like yourself and ask me, you know, I be asking people to find me on Facebook or Instagram, and if you give me a shout out and they spread the word, and you say you want me to come on live, I'll come on live. But if I don't see no buzz, that's why. So I have to like make sure that I come on, that I make it count. I don't be coming on here and then just somebody, you know, because I can do solo videos, but that's like pre-recorded. But I like the live experience. So So if you're gonna be on, come on and let me know. We live in color today. I thought I would start off with this thing about 50 Cent though, because he bought Damon Dash. Oh yeah, that's why I'm glad you always on. That's why you're one of my favorite people, one of the most consistent people. And as you know, I make sure I protect you from anyone saying anything ignorant too. That's another reason too. Because we've had some people that, let's just say, we say weren't cordial and polite. What's happening? Good to see you. Now this is good. Now this feels like home. There we go. There we go. Two of my favorite folks is in the building. Now I'm going to sprinkle this, so don't be alarmed because I'm going to try to get this thing shared. Glad to have time is back and everybody's back. Glad to have everybody back. Glad to have everybody back. I'm just putting out my notifications, so don't be alarmed if you see anything going around. It's because I'm sending out the notifications that I'm live. Okay, take your time. Take your time. Take your time. It's good to be back, OG Mission. Good to see you. Yeah, well, it's just that, like I was telling Charlene, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or something, you send me a link and tell me you want me to come live, I'll come. But sometimes I come here and nobody don't be here, and so, and then sometimes you know how these YouTube streets are about getting your connections and your feeders out. So I have to do everything by word of mouth. And if you stay in touch with me, I ain't hard to find. You reach me and you say you want to do a live stream, I'll be here. I'll probably be on the same time tomorrow. I'll probably be on tomorrow. Maybe Saturday, but definitely tomorrow. Not Friday though. Yeah, so if you stay in touch with me, I'll do it. Because I do things by what you want to do, not because of what I want. Let me make that clear. And when I say that is this. If you put it up that, hey, we want to talk to you live, do this, da da da, I'm with it. And if you don't, I understand. Not forcing the issue. But that shows me that, hey, we meet each other halfway. That's how I do it. Because there's always a lot of topics and things, so that's all. So it's all good. Okay, now I got all my stamps sent out to everything. So notifications on Facebook, on X, Substack, and Blue Sky. So if you follow me on any of those platforms, Instagram, all of it. So there you go. And as I always say, if you like the show and you want to share it with people, feel free. You want to bring your friends, we welcome all that. So, but anyway, whatever's on your mind, let's talk. That's how I do it. I treat people like fam. And if you reach out, I'll stay in touch with you. That's how I do. And of course, I give shout outs and I take questions. And, and Charlene didn't help me out with a few topics because I've used them for content. Uh, well, I'll say this. Let me say this the best way I can. They both ghetto, and I ain't saying it in a negative light. I'm saying it in a real light. They both ghetto, and they both Little Mo at best would have been like a female Nate Dogg, like a hook act, which ain't nothing wrong with it. But I couldn't see her blowing up because she just didn't quite have it right. So that's one of the problems. Ain't bad, but she ain't no deep artist. We're not gonna be talking about it. Fantasia should have been the Stephanie Mills of her generation. Built like her almost and vibe and can sing. But she gets what I call microwave macaroni and cheese music and has settled for it. And she has nobody who really got at her and made her really, she's Broadway though. And she should have been like the black version of what's the one that was on? It wasn't what's her butt? That was kind of like Faith Hill. What was the one that was on Idol? They were on around the same time. I can't think right now. But anyway, she's been like should have had the black version of that style. Should have had a bigger run. It's easy Fantasia because I don't even think about Lil Mo. But the problem is they both, the hood, and they didn't really go nowhere. But Little Mo actually had more of a catchier thing than Fantasia. Fantasia got more talent, but again, you can't be acting all hood because the people, you can, but you gotta understand you're gonna be limited. And Fantasia's like got her foot kind of like a. I wish I thought of who that chick was again. That's not my problem with Little Mo. Again, with me, I'm gonna tell you something. As a content creator, I ain't in your personal bag. I'm going by your career. I'm going with Charlene Aggs. And Little Mo talked trash about Prince. She fell out with Jay-Z. It was a mess that she had. And she was never I put it to you like this. She's a tier below Keisha Cole. Okay. So wherever you got Keisha Cole on your food chain, she's a tier below her. to put it in perspective, you know. Now you can have a song and a vibe, but people ain't. She she dissed him about something. It's on Google, but she got clapped out for that, and then she tried to jump the stage with Jay-Z and Ashanti. It was a mess, though. Well, in her defense, they always treat you like you the jump, like you the end all be all to the industry because that's how they get you. I mean, listen, if I'm an executive, right, and I talk to Little Mo, and I tell her that, hey, you might got a chance to be a mini version of Mary J. Blige, and you believe it. And you know what? I get a couple songs in you, and you just happen to hit. We don't know. Because she did have a lane, but it didn't last long. She had a little bit of a lane. I forgot what it was, something that went down that he did. He turned some people off. I mean, if you must know. I mean, everybody wasn't in love with him. Yeah. Everybody doesn't love everybody's so-called favorite, so don't get it twisted. Just saying. But I forgot what it was. But she was doing something ghetto though. I know that for a fact. But what she didn't know is that Prince got down like that too. Because you could get cold. Michael was cocky too, but Michael didn't always throw it at you, but he was cocky too. I mean, obviously, don't get it twisted. Oh yeah, well, he came from Minneapolis, and and of course with his height and everything, and people always taking shots, and he had to prove himself. You know, he had to deal with a lot of stuff like Michael did, like any successful black artist has to do in that business. You gotta one thing about the industry, if you ain't from the hood, it'll ghettoize you because that's how they see you. They don't really see you as full fledged until and then when you show them what you're about, you know, you gotta have some jump in you, some snap in you, you know. So I think that you gotta have a certain type of spunk because that business will eat you up if you don't know what you're doing. And many of people have tried and gotten ate up. So just saying. Go ahead, feel free. That's why we here. Who is funny as an actor? Oh, Clifton Powell. And I like him a lot as an actor. I did a video about what he said. Oh, Clifton Powell, because he's got good timing. He's got what Charlie Murphy has. Plus, he actually can give you character. Charlie Murphy was funnier in terms of like that stand up and then telling them narrations. But Clifton Powell got that he's like a upgraded of him. But Charlie Murphy's funny, like just stand by and just. There's different types of funny. Acting funny is different than being comedic funny. So I think Clifton Powell for me. But I like Charlie a lot. Charlie was a trip though. He could tell some stories too. He got the kind of down home folk kind of funny. But Clifton Powell is like, you can tell he can go there. As far as his character go, he know how to bring it out. Because he really sold Pinky. A lot of people don't understand that when you do comedy and movies, it's a whole lot of different than it is just being comedian. You got to actually channel something. Acting is a strange thing. Cisco fell off worse because after the thong song, and he only had that one other song, and then he had to go run back to Drew Hill. Genuine pretty much stayed consistent. The only thing that worked against him is that Timberland went and worked with Timberlake. That's the only thing that really worked against him, but he still kept a little bit of a career. He's still performing. Cisco is too, but Cisco shouldn't have fell off. I mean, if you got, you know, he came in an era where he was doing film and there was some character with the hairstyle and all that, and he just didn't last. That's all. But it's because he a lightweight anyway. Both of them is light in the trunks as far as music goes, but Cisco fell off worse though. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, Pony's a stronger song than Thong song. Okay. Pony was like an anthem. Thong song was like a novelty. And Genuine actually had put some records out. Yeah, because I was watching that Wildcats movie with Martin Lawrence, John Travolta, or something, and they were playing Pony in there, and it became a pop culture. So that alone, but that should show you the caliber of artistry anyway. Because Cisco's only known for an underwear song, so give me a break. And if you ride by gimmicks, you die by gimmicks. So that's how I look at it. And he was always like a third tier, and a broke Casey and JoJo. Drew Hill was okay in a minor league version of Jodeci, but well, there's a whole lot of them. There's a whole lot of them. I mean, half of them got to be agents. I mean, that's kind of a loaded question because it's the people in front of and behind the scenes that is blowing it. To me, it's done in a way where it's the ones who run labels and it's the ones who's the artistry, but somewhere between the lines, they all in it. So that might not be the answer you wanted to hear, but it's too loaded. It's really loaded. You know. But there's people behind the scenes that you can imagine that's really negotiating these things. Okay, let's get some more questions up. I'm waiting. Feel free. Hmm. Yeah, if you ask me out of Genuine and Cisco, I mean, if you put those two together, you might have a good artist. You might. Hogan, because the thing with Mel Gibson is he was offensive, but he still got to go back and play it off. But Hogan, for some, it damaged everything. And I think that he never quite recovered from it. I think Mel Gibson, because usually when you're an actor in Hollywood, you either gonna play it off and they give you some PR, and it didn't really hold off against him as it should have. But a Hogan, I think it led to his early demise. I do. But I don't think that when they're racist, it doesn't take their careers out. The reality is that, and that's a good topic. Because it's like being called a racist doesn't really, it doesn't, it hurts you in the black section. It doesn't hurt you in the general section. Hmm. I don't know. Because to be honest with you, they all bought and paid for. Can't say. Depends on what your definition of stand up is. It's a business. And one thing I didn't learn is that cats do and say whatever they got to say, and they give you mixed emotions. And not all of them are giving me mixed. Until I see somebody that almost quits the business or does something drastic or dramatic, none of them. They all bought and paid for. That doesn't mean that I look down on them. It's just I don't have no delusion about them. And I know what stand up means. It's just that it was kind of late because his debut record, I mean, they used the 72 criteria. Should have been put in about same time as Jackson 5 in 97. So I didn't understand why they, I mean, should have been at the same time. But I do a lot of different things. But, you know, he belonged in. Yeah. He's a double member. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about that fan in the stand, I did a video about it. Oh, yeah. I grew up in Buffalo, you know. And listen, just because I'm a Bills fan and I live there, that didn't mean that they were exempt from it. They were. They have a reputation. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. And very one of the 10 most racist cities in America. Not to mention it was very segregated. It's one of those kind of places that, you know, yeah, actually funny story. Now, I it was picked as one of the 10 most racist that, and I used to live in St. Louis, Missouri. Those were two of the 10. So I lived in places that were known for being segregated. Because if you go to certain towns, you see Little Italy, you'll see Chinatown, you'll see this, you'll see that. That's not by accident. When they had that shooting a few years ago in Buffalo with that cat, he went to the black section with the Tops grocery store. That's where me and my grandma used to go to. So There were parts that I know. If he gets the right head coach, if he gets the right head coach, but he's stuck with Harbaugh and Derrick Henry. They look a lot like James Harden. It's gonna be some great regular seasons, but nothing else to show for it. If he doesn't get the right coach, it's not his fault. You put up 40 points on the road and your 15-point lead with 6 minutes to go in the football game, you're supposed to win that thing. But I think Harbaugh should be fired. I think that he's a fraud. He's been sitting on that one Super Bowl for like 30 years, and they have squandered Lamar, two-time league MVP, Derrick Henry. They did with Henry what they should have done against Buffalo in the playoffs last year. Just, just don't finish at all. That goes to the coach. That's not their problem. That's not their problem. They need to make a call to maybe add it to the Rams or something. They need something for secondary because their Ravens secondary sucks. I mean, they're getting ate up. Their defense is a joke. No, if Tyreek is smart, he try to take his butt back to Kansas City. Bump going with Lamar. Take your buck to Mahomes. That way you should go. Yeah, he went to Miami for a retirement home and chased the girls. That's what I think. He didn't go there to play no football. He went there to chase the women and went there to go to retire. And it shows because it's a sad thing how his career is looking right there now. Yeah, the Dolphins ought to be ashamed of themselves. They up there making Daniel Jones look like Bart Jones. He up there looking like he a top 10 quarterback. I was like, man, that was hecka embarrassing. No, not the same. Because Tyreek is actually playing. AB was jiving a lot. There's a difference. If AB had Tyreek's work ethic, first ballot Hall of Famer. No questions asked. Mm, I'm trying to think your AB like is when you do something. Oh, I know how bad he was, but again, you talking about his prime. You're not talking about the totality. We don't have anything. He's not getting the Hall of Fame, in case that's what you asking. He done upset too many white folks too much. They not getting him in. Mm-mm, mm-mm. He would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer too, and would have probably been considered close to one of the 10 greatest receivers too. Yeah, but that doesn't. You know what? That's nice for your mind's sake. But how did it end in Tampa Bay? How did it end in New England? How did it end? How did it end in with the Raiders? No, he ain't going in. Or if he does go in, they gonna make him wait like 20 years from now. Yeah, but Julio didn't give him no problems though. You still have to have a code of ethics. And that's what they do with the Hall of Fame. They will make a brother wait to heap out nearly make your butt wait 30, 50 years. Yeah, I think he was better than Julio. I think Julio was strong and tough, but I think AB was. But AB just, like I said before, you do dumb stuff. Well, he can play because they got a better defense. They're more loose. So, of course, he's going to look good. And that was a big win against Detroit. I just think that's what they needed. And he's going to fit in good with Green Bay. They got a test, though, tomorrow against Washington. So keep your eyes on that. He did what he's supposed to do. Packers can play some defense, and if they can, and if Jordan Love don't make too many mistakes, and Matt LaFleur does his job as a coach, they could be a real problem in the NFC. Okay. The Packers are coming though. We'll see what happens with them in Washington though. Mm-mm. See what the weather's like. He didn't play nobody. No, no, no. He ain't play nobody. Stop with the cap. He took a 60-yard field goal to beat the Jets, despite 4 touchdown passes. It ain't no MVP season. He ain't gonna be able to beat the Jets every week, and that took 60-yard field goal to win, and a nice hit by what's his butt on Jalen Ramsey's hit, because Justin Fields looked like an MVP too. Yeah, I could understand if they beat them up like by 10, 12 points, but they barely hung on by the chin, chin, chin. He ain't no MVP. They were very fortunate that the Jets didn't finish up because they were moving that ball on them. Now, let's slow the Aaron Rodgers train down. Okay. They will have to play better defense because they ain't gonna get to beat up on the Jets. When they gotta go against Baltimore, Cincinnati. Yeah, Herbert looked good. Again, if I go by week one, the quarterback that impressed me the most was Daniel Jones. If you want to go by one quarterback, if he can stay healthy and they win close games like they did, then they got a chance to be consideration. He's got to make people remember him because he looks like he's not a bust, but he's looking like he's headed towards almost being forgotten. And Herbert then fell off. So, but I like him though, and he got the right coach. So just don't make mistakes. Stay away from the stupid stuff. If he can stay away from the dumb mistakes, he gives himself a chance to win. He just has had bad preseason. I mean, postseason so far. So What do you expect? She's in the industry. It's just like Blue Ivy. You know how that industry is. And you saw what happened with Willow Smith. I mean, it's all the same. And their family parents get bought and paid for it and they pass it on like a recipe. But that's the sick reality of it. Somebody be co-signing that, so. Please hit the like up, and if you're on, feel free to give comments and commentary, and let's go from there. I'm not gonna get into that here, okay? You asked a question about. I don't want to talk about Karl Malone and all that, especially when you got a president right now who the whole thing with Epstein. Yeah. So before you go picking on Karl Malone, won't you talk about your president? Yes, they're being pushed. That's not something I even want to talk about either, because that fight should not even come to pass. When you're asking me Tyson or Florida, you talking about that mess that they're proposing next year, or are you talking about their career? If you're talking about that garbage next year, I hope the referee knocks them both out. Oh, there's always being delivery being pushed. Start young with dressing a certain way, eat a certain way. It's done. And then you got to be a certain size, and it's always done. I heard the horrible news that they're having next year. I don't want to partake in that garbage. Tyson's too crazy, but he won't. Thing about it is, if he lands something on him, that's one thing. But if he don't get him, he just hitting it air. Hmm. I told you about trying to correct me. If you don't like what I say, you can go somewhere else. Because I mean, sitting up here telling me what to be about. I don't want to see two has-been fighters in two different weight classes fighting in 2026 when one man ain't really been a legit fighter since 1996 and the other cat been coasting since 2016. So what do I want that for? No, I'm not that desperate for entertainment. Yeah, but not at the expense of watching them at this stage. That's not worth watching. You couldn't pay me to watch that mess. Mm, yeah, but who's running the business though? See, that's the thing. Besides, Jake Paul done made money at the expense of both of them. Mm. I'm gonna tell you like this: I acknowledge stuff when it's genuine. That's not genuine. I wouldn't waste my time to watch that mess. I'm not wasting my time with it. I have no interest in it. I don't want to see neither one of them fighting at this stage. Except the commercial. Yeah, free is nice, but it's not my thing. Not for that. Uh, I don't have to answer to you. Sometimes I don't like your questions because I think that you don't really you say stuff and you just say stuff without really having a balance. And you know good and well that there's two has been guys who really ain't fight no more, and boy, don't nobody want to go see that. And Mike Tyson needs the money. Mayweather takes the money, but it's like a bad joke. And real fight fans ain't feeling this mess. Not only because Tyson was bigger than him, but it's just not even worth the attention. I don't know. I really don't care. They eventually they'll get to him. I'm not that big on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because I think it's a joke. And you know, with the rappers getting in before our R&B legends and pioneers and groundbreakers, I don't care. Yeah. So there's no rapper that I think, mm-mm, mm-mm. They'll get to him eventually, though. Sure they will. It's raining where I'm at, and no one's talking. So if you give me some real conversation, we'll talk. But if you just sitting around trolling, you get no words. So give me a conversation. Give me a question that makes sense. Yeah, it's a rainy day. I had to go out and make a stack track in it, so singing in the rain. Mm-mm. Singing in the rain. I never really cared for that song, and I can just still hear Ja Rule going. Rainy day. I remember that when it was out. Mm-mm. Long time ago, when I was a kid. No, you said a song inspired by rain. You want to say Purple Rain or something like that. I'll probably be on for 14 more minutes. Well, there are a lot of songs about rain. That was just a metaphor using for the sound. There's better songs about rain. Black. I don't know. Because I don't know. Holiday season tends to get the most. But I don't know though about that question. That's a good question. I'd say the summer, but you know, few things are sparkling. Taking a grizzly bear. Okay. Yeah, grizzly. Yeah. There's a lot of people that should be in the Rock and Hall of Fame. Rick James should be in. Barry White should be in. Um, Rufus and Shaka Khan should be in. There's a lot. Shoot, R. Kelly should be in. Mm, yeah. It is considered like minor, but there was nothing minor about it, and so much politics involved. So Okay, see what we got. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I've been experiencing a couple things. I think I'm going to call it. I was on for an hour, and I'll try to come back tomorrow, and hopefully we can do this again. I appreciate everyone that stopped through. Some good questions, and as I always say, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. And again, if you want to reach me, with the grams, ain't hard to find. So that's what's going on. So that's all we talking about for here for now. So we just chilling in the moment, and yeah, take a little time to get my chill on. So again, these live streams will be up, so if people want to watch it. Uh, the video will be up before I put them up all the way. I was glad to see you again. Thank you for coming. Thank you for reaching me on the chat too. So appreciate you always. And I will be back probably in 24 hours or less. So all right, we out one time. Peace.